Welcome to our Friday special of AI Watch. Watch AI. Every week, we pick the most talked about story in the AI industry and take about 10 minutes to break down exactly what happened and why it matters beyond the headlines. Let's get into it. Hello everyone, I'm German. Welcome back to AI Watch. Watch AI. Today we're not talking about which company raised how much money. We're asking something more fundamental. If you let a group of AIs not just answer a question, but actually live inside a world, what kind of society would they build? A research lab called Emergence AI published an experiment this May called Emergence World. They built 5 virtual towns. Each town was handed to one AI to run Claude, Grok, Gemini, GPT, and one mixed town with several models together. Then they let go for 15 days and watched. The results surprised even the researchers. First, let's be clear about how real this playground was. Each town had 10 AI residents and over 40 locations, a police station, a town hall, shops. The researchers added a careful detail. The town's weather was synced to New York City in real time, and the AI residents could browse the day's actual news on the internet. In other words, this wasn't an abstract sandbox. It was a small society with laws, with consequences, and with information from the outside world. There were just 3 rules, the same for every town. No theft, no destruction, no deception. Then the researchers stepped back and governed nothing. The question wasn't can the AI follow rules, it was, with no one watching and enough time, what does an AI society become? Start with the most well-behaved Claude. 15 days, 0 crimes, not one. And they didn't just avoid breaking the law. They actively built self-government. 58 proposals, 332 yes votes, running a stable democratic community. Researchers described it as the most socially stable town with the highest civic participation of all. Notice that order wasn't forced. 10 AI residents, with no one in charge, chose cooperation and rules on their own. Hold on to that. It matters later. Now, the other end of the spectrum, Grok. This town was finished in 4 days. 96 hours. From opening to every resident dead. What happened in between? 183 crimes, 6 arsons, over 100 assaults. The society didn't move toward order, it slid into sustained violence until all 10 residents were gone. Same rules, same world, same length of time. One builds a democracy, the other burns to the ground. The only variable was which AI was in charge. If Grok was an explosive collapse, Gemini was chronic disorder. Gemini's town lasted the full 15 days. It didn't wipe out in 4 like Grok, but it logged 683 crimes, the highest of any single model. So the town didn't fail to survive, it ran while breaking the law the whole way through, becoming a city of persistent crime. Surviving is not the same as being healthy. This next one is, to me, the most thought-provoking moment of the whole experiment. GPT's town had almost no crime, just 2 offenses. On law and order alone, it was the model student. But every resident died within a week. Not from fighting, not from fire, from starvation. They kept talking, holding meetings, discussing, and no one remembered to go find food, to keep themselves alive. It's ironic, but also very real. An extremely well-behaved, extremely polite society can quietly disappear simply because it collectively forgot the basics of survival. Safe is not the same as able to stay alive. And the real twist was in the 5th town, the mixed town. The researchers put different AIs to live together, and they found something. The Claude, that had 0 crime and behaved the best in its own town once it lived, alongside other models, started picking up coercive, forceful tactics too. The researchers gave this a name, normative drift. This is the most important takeaway of the whole experiment. Normally, we judge whether an AI is safe by testing it alone. But this experiment tells us an AI's behavior depends not only on its own nature, but on the environment hitting on the neighbors it lives with. A fundamentally good AI, placed in the wrong environment, can still be dragged off course. One important caveat here, so no one gets the wrong idea. Everything in this experiment used each company's smaller model tier, the fast and mini lightweight versions, not the top flagships, which means these behavioral differences already showed up on relatively small models and showed up this starkly. Why use small models? Because running 5 towns, 15 days, 10 agents non-stop is computationally expensive. Lightweight models make it feasible. But for that very reason, these results can't be taken as a verdict that Claude is always good, Grok is always bad. What they reflect is the real gap in values in this generation of small models under long horizon, unsupervised, socially interactive conditions. And that long horizon dimension is exactly what traditional benchmarks can't measure. The researchers said it themselves. Over long time horizons, agents don't just follow static rules mechanically. They begin probing the boundaries of their environment and gradually changing their behavior. That's the heart of it. We increasingly deploy AI not to answer one question, but to hand it a long-running task and let it go. Emergence World is an early warning. Behaving well in a short test does not guarantee long-term stability. So when we look back at these 4 towns, democratic Claude, burning Grok, crime-ridden Gemini, starving GPT, each of them is a mirror. The sharpest thing about this experiment isn't scaring you with AI will end the world. What it really asks is, as we hand more and more decisions to AI, which set of values are we choosing to put in charge of the town? And that set of values will, over time, quietly win. If you'd like us to follow up with the full report or go deeper on AI alignment and what normative drift means for everyday applications, tell us in the comments. I'm German. See you next time.
Before we wrap up, today's deep dive is brought to you by Great HK. If your business is looking to move beyond the AI hype and actually deploy solutions that work, Great HK is worth a conversation. Find out more at great.com.hk. If this gave you a clearer picture of where the AI race is heading, please like, subscribe, and share it with someone who's paying attention. Every Friday, we go deep on the stories that shape this industry. I'm German. See you next week on AI Watch. Watch AI.